I know everything about the Coolio, Julio, Coolio, Julio.
Let's go crazy!
Oh my God, out of control.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Saint Fanta, and
It's not anymore the boss of 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 the Bravehearts.
whatever you say, boomer. What up, everybody? Hope you're having a sinful week, sinful weekend. I know I have. Marv, how have you been?
I'm having a good one, man. I'm alive. I'm happy to be alive, bro. I love being alive. Imagine not being alive. That should be crazy.
Imagine that. Well, you can't imagine because it's nothing. But let's celebrate right off the bat with something that you guys need to know is happening this month. It's coming up. We have the grand reopening of Bravery Studios.
Yeah, bravery up.
Bravery up.
So if you want quality content done properly for a podcast, quality entertainment, go to Bravery Studios. Done right way. The right way.
Amen. Amen. September 18th, pull up. Pull up.
Yeah, we're gonna pull up. We're gonna show some live entertainment. We're definitely gonna bring the heat for you guys.
We're gonna watch the movie Juice live.
And we're just gonna walk into it like
Word.
For those that don't get the reference, before the podcast, we were just talking about the movie.
Everybody that's coming has to take the elevator, and they have to stand with their back facing the elevator door the whole time. The whole time. The whole time.
The whole time. How long was it? Like a minute?
That was a long elevator ride. That was a very long elevator ride, actually.
How many floors were in that building?
Yo, yeah, that was horrible. That was a nightmare. But
I think, yeah.
Well, yeah, man. Feeling good. I've had a good weekend. Got a lot of things accomplished, and I'm pretty proud of myself. And looking forward to more great things on the horizon. Shout out to DX for the host. Thank you for the host, homie. Right. Thank you for the host.
That's right.
But yeah, man, a lot of gaming news this week, bro. Today we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. Mainly, a lot of stuff that's going on with Blizzard Activision. But also we got some TMNT Shredder's Revenge news, some more Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl news, a new Metroid Dread trailer, and of course, No More Heroes 3 has released. So we got some thoughts on it. We're gonna spill the beans on it later. But yeah, man, you want to kick things off?
We're gonna sip the tea, yeah. All right, so you want me to kick it off with what? With Blizzard?
No. We'll talk about that last. All right. So I actually got the option to show trailers now. I found a way to do it with my setup. So let's go right into the new trailer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. And let me show you guys the theater screen. Here we go. So yeah, man. Dun, 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 dun.
And now, our feature presentation.
So yeah, we got a new trailer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge that shows that for the first time ever in a Ninja Turtles game, I think this is the first time ever, at least. I would have to recheck my facts. But we have April O'Neil, the only human, not the only human, but the human compatriot of the Ninja Turtles as a playable character finally. She's kicking ass, man, which is something she never did in the show ever. I don't think she ever got her hands dirty. If anything, they always had to save her. She was always the damsel in distress. So this is pretty cool. I mean, I saw a video comparison of her moves with all the with a couple different Street Fighter characters. So all her moves are like she's a combination of like a lot of different female characters from Street Fighter, which isn't a bad thing. She has some Chun-Li stuff. She has some Armika stuff. She has I think I lost internet over here. Did I lose internet over here? My internet? Jesus. This is gonna be a tough stream, huh? Or what? What's up with all this, man? All right. So I lost internet for a second, man. This is gonna be a rough stream if I'm gonna be losing internet the whole time. But if you guys didn't hear what I said, April O'Neil's finally playable. They took a couple moves off of a couple different Street Fighter characters and gave it to her, which I think is pretty awesome for her. And I bet you she's gonna be the fan favorite in this game just for the fact that this is the first time she's ever playable in Ninja Turtles game. Sin,
That's right.
what's up with what's your thoughts on this, huh? Oh my God, no way! I lost internet again. Oh, they back. Uh-oh. Oh, man, this is Basura, man. This is Basura. What's killing my internet right now? What is killing my internet? This is not good. This is not good. I keep losing the internet, Sin.
Yeah, you keep losing it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
I mean, I guess
Maybe you want to...
I reset my router already, so it's not even that. Mighty P says, I saw this gameplay. It looks good compared to the game before. What was the last Ninja Turtles game before this?
I can't even remember because there hasn't been many that have intrigued me. But this one looks interesting. It reminds me a lot of Scott Pilgrim.
It's made by the same people, actually. Emo is developing the game, and they're building a reputation for themselves in the beat 'em up genre. Because of Scott Pilgrim, Streets of Rage, and I think I lost internet again. Damn, this is bad. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I thought I lost internet again. But yeah, they are definitely building a reputation for themselves. They did the Streets of Rage 4 game. They did Scott Pilgrim, and now they're doing this, and they're doing a few other things too that are pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm hyped for this. Like, this is gonna be really hyped. This is coming out in 2022, so not till next year. But either way, this is definitely a big one on my list that I definitely got to get into.
Yeah, I like the concept because it needs to be more modern. I'm not trying to jump on political things. I'm just saying, yeah. But I will say that again, the nitpick for me is that it's a human. Is it gonna fight turtle level danger? I don't think so. But they're not going with that. They're just going with let's give somebody else a moment to shine and fight.
I mean, the Ninja Turtles had Casey Jones, which was human, and he fought like Ninja Turtle villains. He fought him with a hockey stick and stuff. So it's not unprecedented in the Ninja Turtle series for a human
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, why am I thinking about this?
Yeah, it's not that unprecedented. But Casey Jones is usually the only human that teams up with them. But yeah, I think it's good. And in today's modern age, nobody wants to see the save the damsel in distress story again. I think we're even if you don't mention the political side of like just having inclusion, I think either way I would have been tired if it would have been just like, oh, we got to save April at the end again because she got kidnapped again. So no, I dig it. I dig having her be part of the team.
I hope they remove that from Peach real soon too.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Mario Odyssey had a Save the Princess theme again too. I would have thought maybe it was time that she would have been playable in Mario Odyssey or something like that, but I guess not. I'm hyped for this. This is definitely a big one on my list for sure. Definitely a big one.
If it's anything like Scott Pilgrim, this is gonna be dope. I cannot.
I'm
wait.
sure, and I'm getting the Turtles in Time's vibe. Turtles in Time is probably one of my favorite games of all time.
Yes.
Her moveset is crazy too. When you're looking at what she's doing, she's fighting with like news equipment. Like she has the microphone, like for being a reporter. And then I seen her do a AOE attack where she swings a TV camera, like those cameras they have in a news studio. She swings it around in a circle for like crowd control. And then, like I said, a lot of her basic attacks are taken right from Street Fighter characters. She's got a booty bump. She's got the Chun-Li anti-air kicks, and I think she has the. I remember her taking moves from Karen too from Street Fighter Alpha. She has the Reku combo from Street Fighter Alpha. So yeah, this is a cool thing. Definitely a cool thing.
I see. Kevin says he's hyped for the Dokev game.
Dokev was another game announced at Gamescom. I didn't pull a lot of stories out of Gamescom myself, just because there wasn't a lot in that. You know, if you guys don't know what Gamescom is, it's like Europe's version of E3. But for me, there really wasn't too many games that I was interested in that was shown there. So I really don't think we're gonna cover a lot of that. So Poke Dev or whatever it's called probably isn't gonna be mentioned here at all, guys. Sorry.
Well, I mean, again, everybody has their own things that they're hype about. I personally, there was a point in my life where I was really hype about fighting games, Smash Bros. Being one of those takeaways. But now I've moved on. At my age, I like to see more plot-heavy games. I guess because I'm older.
I mean,
but then again,
yeah. My interests changed a lot too. Before, I used to be able to play almost any kind of game, honestly, and now I kind of just stick to games that I played as a child, but have like newer versions, like this in general. This is a throwback to old school Turtle games, and I don't really want to play a game that's not somewhat like the games I played growing up. I'm like very unreceptive to new ideas in gaming, which is unfortunate, but I just can't get in the mood for it. But that's just me.
No, that's you. That's how, I don't like when people judge others for their own vibe. It's like, well, yes, you grow. You're going to adapt to whatever it is. And if it's presented, if it's still there, if it's still as a medium, then go for it. That's why indie developers fill that niche, because people were still looking for an old school type of, vibe, and nobody wants to get down with the new generation. And even I have times that I'm just like, this particular IP, I don't want it to jump to something else.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, that's Ninja Turtles.
Let's go crazy!
I gotta turn off the intro for this.
All right, let's go ahead and do this. What do we have up next?
Up next, we have some more April O'Neil news, as we have actually April O'Neil is gonna be playable in the shout out to Amanda Payne, the Randa Fanda. April is gonna be playable also in the. I kind of could have combined these stories, but I felt like
it's all good.
Since Cat Dog is here, maybe we'll give it its own story again too. But yeah, April O'Neil and Cat Dog have been announced for the Nickelodeon Smash Brothers clone, which is officially called Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl. Let's show you guys some trailer footage of Cat Dog first. They're short trailers. Cat Dog is in it, which I think we already knew. But here's April's footage first. April, very similar to kind of how she plays in the Turtles game, honestly. She still has the microphone in her hand and using like studio equipment to fight you with, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I ain't knocking it. It's pretty cool. And maybe her moves are even wider in this game, because I see her pulling out more than just the camera and the microphone. I see her moving like camera stands forward and all that stuff. So that's April's trailer. Let's switch over to Cat Dog now. Hey, pause. Yeah, come on. Cat Dog. And the only thing from these trailers is I can't really get a fix of which character has what play style. Like if this one's going to be like a zoning character, or if he's going to be like projectile.
Clothes.
I mean, I can get kind of somewhat of an idea, but it's kind of hard to tell from these short trailers. But Cat Dog looks cool. I mean, I feel like a lot of people are hyped for this game for something that no other company has really been able to pull off yet. No one has pulled off like a very successful Smash clone, unless you count like some of the indie offerings like Brawlhalla, and I think there was one other one that was kind of big too, but it's not coming to mind at the moment. But this one's definitely getting attention. People are definitely paying a lot of attention to this. So, I'll probably play it out. I'll probably try it and see what it has to offer on release date. I just want to hear about some rollback netcode in this, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, I think what made this popular is the fact that it's a company that already has a track record creating fighting games, and at the same time, they also, talked about rollback netcode. They talked about good internet quality, interactivity, and that's something that the Smash Bros. Community has griped about for quite some time. And I think that's why the majority of the Smash Bros. Community is intrigued. We're definitely intrigued. And just fighting people in general are just hoping that it interacts well. That's all we care about. If the characters can fight well, the framework is well, then everything else can be, you know, an oversight. Like some of us might not know a lot of Nickelodeon characters, but we don't care about that.
I actually think that the majority of people that are interested in this game do have a little bit of nostalgia for Nickelodeon. I was more of a Cartoon Network kid, but I'll be lying if I didn't say I watched a lot of Nickelodeon.
Same.
I definitely watched a handful of it. There was some stuff that I definitely hated, but there was some stuff that I definitely loved, like Hey Arnold. And where's the Hey Arnold reveal trailer coming? And what the hell playstyle could Hey Arnold have? He's usually the one that resolves conflict instead of like going to fight people. Right?
So wouldn't it be I forget the unibrow girl that would fight?
I think they showed Helga already though. Someone
Forget it. It's Helga.
I just saw her in the trailer. She's already here, and you could tell she was an easy transition because she was already kind of brolicky. She was already kind of a tough girl, so she's an easy transition to the game. But Hey Arnold himself, his name is not actually Hey Arnold Marv, but Arnold, I don't know how he would fight. That'd be interesting to see him scrapping. Maybe he'd do that episode with the boombox, and he keeps saying I'm crazy, and just scare you into not fighting.
I'm interested in seeing how this game plays out. A lot of the, like I said, a lot of the characters may not be known to some people, but some of us do, like me. And at the same time, we were talking about prior to this that April O'Neil, you know, not only has a release on the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, but as well in this game. So I'm hoping that that'll get some intrigue going for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I feel as though their fame kind of died out with this guy that made I forget
Michael Bay.
I cannot remember.
Michael Bay.
Transformers.
Yeah,
Michael Bay, and he just butchered that movie so badly. I was just like, why? So.
Yeah. Maybe this will lead to good things. I really like how they're in both games. They're sticking to the '80s aesthetic of the characters instead of like the more modern looks of them.
Yes,
which is cool.
Yes,
which is cool. I'm surprised that both of these games are sticking to that old school look, which is interesting. I wonder why they decided that, but either way,
I'm wondering if they have competitive stages, kind of like Ultimate has done.
Are you thinking?
All I see are stages that are insane.
Yeah, I mean, are you thinking what if they're gonna have like a Final Destination? That's what you mean?
Yeah, like a Battlefield and Final Destination choice.
I wonder. Yeah, I don't see anything like that in these trailers, but I'll be if these guys are really, if the developers are really taking the what is it called, the formula of Smash, they would have to, I think, if they're gonna steal that exact formula.
That's right.
But yeah, man, that's news for this guy. Next up, we actually have a new trailer of Metroid Dread, which this is super interesting, and I'm gonna go on the freaking theory bandwagon. I'm gonna throw 2 sentences before we even talk about this trailer. I'm thinking this guy in this trailer, this evil Chozo, is probably gonna be the last character announced for Smash Ultimate.
That's not bad.
Hear me out. Like I feel like Nintendo likes to promote new games that are coming out more than old games in Smash. Like they like adding Fire Emblem characters. They like adding, you know, whatever new game is on the horizon, they want to put that character in the game. Look at ARMS in Smash and look at all the Fire Emblem characters, because Fire Emblem resets its timeline. Like every game there's a new character. So this guy has potential. But let's go into the actual trailer itself, right? We finally get to see a another like boss level threat from a Metroid game that's not Ridley, which Ridley, for a long time they were overusing him. Like he's been in every Metroid game, I think, completely. And there's never been like a character that's kind of like humanoid looking that can possibly be like on the same level as Samus and not be like a dragon or some kind of giant
or a clone.
or a clone or a crocodile. Although this character does look like he has clone-like features because Samus's suit, her origin is it comes from the Chozo, race. So if there was Chozo warriors, it's very likely that Samus's suit was taken from those Chozo warriors. And this guy looks like he's an ancient Chozo warrior that Samus is gonna have to fight over the course of the game. He's some kind of evil Chozo. So like you can see how he's very similar to Samus in that he has the arm cannon, he has the metal armor, he has glowing pieces on his body, just like how Samus has. So, and this is cool that they're finally doing this because for a long time, I know the lore of Metroid that her parents died and she was raised by bird people in space that made her suit. But it never really clicked with me like how these bird people made this super futuristic suit for Samus. But when you look at their race, they're all like these very, I want to say like monk-like culture where they don't really use technology too much like that. But this trailer is showing that no, their warriors actually did have somewhat the same technology as Samus, if not better. Because this is a pretty cool looking character. I actually wouldn't mind if he does end up being the final Smash character revealed. It'd be good. It'd be good promotion for the Smash for Metroid Dread. And and I was just gonna say finally that the timing would be right because this game is coming out like in October, and I think we're gonna get that Smash character reveal sometime in September the upcoming month.
Well, so I don't know where to begin with this, but for those that don't know, the Chozo were essentially wiped out from existence as far as we know, and in this timeline, this is way after Samus defeated Ridley and killed him for good. Prior to that, in a lot of the games, except for Metroid Fusion, Ridley was still alive because he was canonically still alive, and he was being brought back via different means. But that being said, Metroid Fusion came out, and that was before this. Metroid Dread is essentially the follow-up. And Metroid Fusion didn't feature. This story arc doesn't feature Ridley.
Well, he wasn't Fusion, but it was like a clone that was like a bio Ridley. He had like ooze coming out of his body and stuff like that, but it wasn't technically the real Ridley.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that they can branch out from that because as much as I like Bowser from Mario, I feel like it would be dope if they found a way to make some like they've done it in the past, but it doesn't stick. And so with Metroid, it's a more serious franchise. They cannot stick to traditional tropes and just keep bringing people back. Even with Legend of Zelda, we kind of accept it because it's part of the lore, but that's still pushing it, and that's why Skyward Sword I'm not going to spoil it, but had something else. And then why Breath of the Wild has something else. There was a variation. But that being said, so the Chozo essentially have shown that they do use technology for buildings and interactions with their environment. But as far as themselves, they essentially didn't use it on themselves. They never shown anything outside of that as a general populace. And all of a sudden now we're seeing warriors that are like, no, we're using it outside. We're definitely using it on ourselves. And there's a couple theories going around that this Chozo might not be a Chozo. It might be a
parasite.
It might be a parasite. And to that, I would say is a possibility, but I'd rather it be a real Chozo.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
That has been corrupted somehow. That would be great, or not even corrupted. Just these sort of species wiped out because of their own negligence towards Metroids and just creating them. And it's like, okay, dude, like, his mind just got warped. Fine, I don't care. But I also don't like the detractors that are saying, oh, this is in the future, of course. So Samus, it's not that she's older and that gets in the way. People are saying she's weaker. Like there's weaker enemies fighting her and she's just being susceptible. It's like, yeah, no duh. If you didn't play Metroid Fusion, you don't realize what has happened to Samus's suit and herself. She went through something. I don't know if I should spoil it, so I won't. And essentially, she's regrowing her armor. The armor can regrow, but that's not her full set of armor. For those that don't know, is regrowing back. And in the trailers, you can kind of see the differences in fluctuation. We don't know what happens when. We don't know the timings. But there's been trailers that show where she's missing things and then she's regaining things. So that's something of a mystery that I'll leave for you guys. And
I lost internet again. Yeah, this is gonna be a rough one. This is gonna be a rough one, but we're already halfway through though. Good evening. I guess you could say that there is a dreadful feeling in the air. Shout out to Takzuki. He's probably not seeing this, but
been claimed to be wiped out. It's okay. I'm carrying it over. Don't worry.
yeah, I'm here.
So the Metroid has essentially been claimed to be wiped out. I'm hoping that that's not the case. That would be nice if somehow, some way, some Shozo clung in and some Metroid clung in, because that would lead to a great new story.
Yeah. Yo, shout out to Takzuki. He said, good evening. I guess you could say that there's a dreadful feeling in the air. Stream crash. Yeah, we're back, Takzuki. Shout out to Takzuki. Yeah, I would be surprised extremely if there's not going to be a Metroid in this game. Even though the majority of them have been wiped out, you always end up seeing a few of them in every game, so it ain't going to be too crazy. Taco did something. Yo, I'm hyped for this. The only thing that kind of like grinds my gears a little bit about it is that Samus loses all her abilities again in the beginning of the game, which I don't think they have to do that anymore, to be honest with you. I think
No, she hasn't had them.
she had, but by the end of Metroid Fusion, she got all her abilities back. That's what I'm saying. So like, I don't think they should do that anymore. I think it's too repetitive. We've had so many Metroid games where she has to start over all the way in the beginning. I would have liked it more if she had all her abilities from Fusion, but she finds new ones. I think that would have been better than, hey, let's take away everything again in the beginning. And it's like,
Yeah, like let's just say the new technology she acquired in the prior game doesn't work. So just, it's there, but she needs more.
That's more reasonable than just, hey, she got beat up, she lost all her powers again. Because now we're like in the 10th Metroid game where this happens, and it just makes you think like, hey, how fragile is this armor of hers that every time she goes on an adventure she loses everything? Like, how fragile is this technology? Like, I don't get it. You know, at least in Zelda, it's a couple of decades or centuries over. Like, it's a new incarnation of Link. It's not the same
So they got to regain, yeah.
So it's understandable that he has to regain everything again. But when it comes to Samus, there's only been one Samus. There's not different decades and generations of Samus.
She just gets dumber every time she gets attacked. It's like, oh no, here I go again.
She's like Steve Urkel. Like, what the hell? So yeah, I would have been happy if she doesn't lose anything and just. But I guess she would have been too overpowered in the beginning. But I like what Sin just said, that maybe your technology doesn't work in this space, or find some other story reason than just she got beat up and now she has no powers again. Like, find another story reason. I would hope.
I would like if they had a planet where they it would have been nice. I know it's not the case anymore because I've seen too much trailer and I know now. But it would have been nice if in this world, planet, whatever, the technology that Samus brings along, it's shut down by the new technology. Plain and simple. So now she has to upgrade. That would have been so dope. Like, this Shozo is just like, yeah, fam, like, my technology is so much better. Like, it's a wrap. Like, what's up?
Yeah, like, or maybe her technology runs on a different energy that's not found on this planet. So, like, cars on Earth run on gas, petroleum. But if you take a car to Mars and you don't see petroleum, you can't drive that car no more. So that would have been a good story reason. But let's see. We don't really know 100% all of the facts yet. So maybe they do have a good story reason other than she got beat up and lost her freaking powers again. So we'll see, I guess, when we get there. You know.
My final thoughts is, again, being someone that's lived through a lot of gaming, I'm still upset that Metroid fans have to beg and grind and grasp against the grain because of reasons that are beyond our control. And then not only that, but the Metroid detractors are not helping. So our fans are not helping either. Like I'm a fan of Metroid, but we sit here and beg and just hey, Retro, give us Metroid Prime. It's like, we got Metroid Dread. Enjoy that for now. Enjoy it for what it is. It's canonically tied. It's throwback in the sense 2D, whatever. And it's a new story, like, enjoy. But no, we're just out here still whining. When this looks great, it calls back to my youth. And just for the younger generation, they should be loving it. But they're up in the air about it because it's not Metroid Prime. And then the detractors are just essentially going, well, this series should have died long ago because it just never sells well. Well, if you guys don't realize the tragedies that Metroid went through, not only Metroid, but Retro, and the timings, it has been abysmal if you go into that kind of story canonically. If you guys don't realize how much trouble this team and this franchise has had with timings and just overall sales of consoles, that being GameCube, that being the Wii, that the timing for the game was too late. So I'm sorry to say, but the canonical primes that you guys are asking for were never spaced well, and they weren't marketed well either. Nintendo didn't help there. So it's multiple factors that you guys have to be aware of. And if you want to support this game, and you want to support the franchise, you want to support the community, you want to support the future of Metroid, don't just support Prime because the team is coming back. Support Metroid, period, so you can see the future of Metroid thrive, as opposed to what happened to Star Fox, which I don't know when we're going to see that again.
Yeah, word. My final thoughts, I like this new character. Like I said, I think he has potential to be the final Smash character reveal, just off of the timing of this game's release and probably the last trailer. And I like everything I've seen from this game so far, except for the losing your powers again thing. But I mean, these new power-ups that he has in this look pretty awesome. This is more modernized as I look. You have like 360-degree aiming and everything like that. It's going to be an awesome trip, and this game has the potential of being the best game of the year. Not mine, because mine is No More Heroes 3, but this game definitely has the potential to be many people's game of the year just because there's nothing coming out this year.
Drogovian Lancer says, I saw people saying that Dread was inherently bad for being 2D.
Well, I mean, it's somewhat I can somewhat understand it just off of the fact that they announced Metroid Prime 4 5 years ago, and they have nothing to show for it. This game kind of came out of nowhere, and it's an old school styled game. And, for many people, it's like, yeah, this is cool, but where the hell is Metroid Prime 4? So Nintendo kind of shot themselves in the foot by announcing Prime 4 so early.
They have shot themselves in the foot multiple times with this franchise. And of course, the fan base doesn't help, and the detractors don't help at all either. But Nintendo has done some damage to this franchise with them realizing it, by the way. For example, the fan community that created the game, this one, then they shut down the creator of the game and then just went ahead with the idea. Like, Nintendo, what are you doing? Stop shutting down fan-based games, because I get it, you're very protective of your IPs, but what about if they really do well? Why not hire them instead of just shutting them down and leaving them in their corner like, hey, you did a bad thing, fine, pow, pow. Like, okay, whatever. And we're aware of that. Those that are fans of Nintendo, we're fully aware, and we, then that makes us question if we should give money to you. And then at the same time, they also, I don't know what happened with the Retro team, but sometime last year, they had to reboot from scratch. I don't know what happened. They were already, so I'm supposing that 5 years, they were like, okay, well, in 2 or 3 years, we'll be ready to at least show. No, they had to scrap it all. We're finding out only last year. So our patience is going to run thin, especially because they announced it so long ago. So.
Well, what happened was that originally Prime 4 was getting developed by, if I'm not mistaken, it was Namco Bandai Shanghai, which is a development team in China that was owned by Namco Bandai. And I think what happened was Nintendo wasn't happy with what they were putting together. So they scrapped it all, and then they said, "Hey, let's send it back to Retro." So now Prime 4 is back in Retro's hands, and Retro had to start from scratch. They didn't have anything from what the Shanghai team did,
or from the prior Metroids.
Well, they might have from Prime 3 and 2 and 1 if they save the files. But even still, it's not easy to just build on top of a system from 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'm sure Prime 4 is going to show up eventually, but either way, this is good. This is a good thing either way. I think even with or without Prime 4, we still needed a 2D Metroid because these are the games that kind of follow the timeline a little more closely. Prime games has always been like side stories. The Prime games have never been like the main storyline of the Metroid series at all. Every Metroid Prime game takes place in between Metroid 1 and Metroid 2. They're all like right there in the beginning of the timeline, according to the lore. And some people even theorize that the Prime series is not even in the timeline anymore. Like it's its own thing now. So,
after Echoes, yeah.
Yeah, like they're thinking like this probably isn't even considered the main Metroid timeline. So the 2D games are the main Metroid canon timeline. So I think we needed a 2D one regardless. And I think Mercury Steam did a really good job with Metroid Returns on the 3DS. So Nintendo's like, yeah, let's give these guys another go on a modern console with HD graphics. Let's freaking do it. And from what I'm seeing, they're kicking ass. So I'm happy.
And it's a sequel. Like we need the story to progress too, not just prologues.
Yeah, the next Prime 4 game, I'm guaranteeing it's going to take place right back in the beginning of the timeline. So we're not going to see any really progression in Samus in any type of way. So yeah, this is good for the story. Prime games you can play for different reasons, but if you want the main Samus timeline story, you got to play the 2D games.
That's right. I think you should just do let's go crazy at every change of article just because your thing keeps dropping. You might have to take cuts from each one.
Yeah, but at least the recording is all together. I'm losing
internet, all right,
but
perfect.
the recording is still solid.
So, all right, then we're here, guys, and I'm we can carry on forever. So
yeah, we can go on, but let's move forward. Let's move forward. The next couple stories are gonna come for you straight from Sin.
All right, I have arrived, ladies and gentlemen. I am here. You're gonna hear my voice for a bit and enjoy that part. So we have No More Heroes 3 announcement, as well as finally the release. Those of you that don't know, No More Heroes 3 is essentially a giant meme game. I was trying to find the ways to word this the last couple of times we've talked about it on the podcast, and I could not find the ways to explain it to an average gamer that sees the game from the outside. You would have to play it from the first one to kind of understand the nicks and picks. So I finally found a way to explain it to someone without having to play the first two games. And the reality is, it's a meme game. The whole way through, from start to finish, it's 100% pedal to the metal. Just meme after meme after joke, even though there's serious consequences. There's serious moments, there's joke moments, but the majority of the time you're just sitting on satire after joke after sad. That's how it is. And the team, Suda51, has done a fantastic job of translating the game. It's amazing what they have done, making it into English. And I don't know what they do with other languages, but the memes translate, the jokes translate, everything translates. And when you're playing it, you're just, you are not going to find a moment in this game where you won't at least smile. That's what they're aiming for you to at least be smiling at something and not being the whole time like, what's that? No, you're not going to have a chance to breathe. You're going to have a side quest that's not going to make any sense because you're going to chase fruity scorpions. Then after that, you're going to have another side quest where you're going to click toilets where you get more XP and money and some random thing. All of a sudden, now you're in the main quest where apparently the button that you got to click is a meme because they tell you what the button is, but like in 100 different languages. And then you fight a boss that all of a sudden now you're turning into a mech using a superpower that you shouldn't own, that It's a reference to Gundam. And just you destroy this mech, and then you're back to world. It's like, that's 5 minutes of the game, by the way. So that's what the game is. Lastly, I wanted to say that Suda51 announced that the prior title to this game was Final Bout, I believe, and then they changed it to what it is now because it would be too long. What they meant to say was that this will be the final No More Heroes 3. We've heard that before from different companies where they go, this is the final whatever, and then they just wind up going on, and then they mess it up. For me, I think the stride has been hit with No More Heroes. There's times that it's so difficult for us as gamers to let go of something and let it be as its own thing. And then the companies just think more money printing, and then they eventually realize, oh, we can't keep up with the times, and then the game just fizzles out. Or you just have the original cast not be able to do it anymore because they get too old, or the company gets too greedy and they fire the original creator like Hideo Kojima. And now all of a sudden Metal Gear Solid is a freaking zombie survival. Anyways, so what I'm trying to say is, how do you feel about that, Marv? And do you know anything about this game?
So I'm about 4 hours into No More Heroes 3. This is probably my favorite video game series ever, honestly. But I like what Taco said. He said it's a hack and slash but coked up, essentially. I have very conflicted and confusing thoughts about this game thus far with the 4 hours I have into it. I love this series to death. I love the series to infinity. But there is some things that they did with this game differently than the other two games that I just am very confused about. So I don't even know where to start. But the combat for me has become very frustrating because No More Heroes 1 and 2 are kind of pick up and play and slash everywhere kind of games, where this one, it seems like they wanted to give the game more depth and like make it more complex, and I think they kind of did too much. I think they did too much. Like I said, I'm 4 hours in. My opinion could change completely next week if I get a better grip on the combat. But
they throw too much at you at the first 2 hours. By the way, I feel the same.
I think that the game, I don't know, man. Like, I fought the first boss, and I died a handful of times, and I just felt like, all right, well, this is the first boss. I'm still learning how the game is. It's not just keep pressing A until and dodge attacks. Now the bosses have a lot of AoE moves, and even the basic goons, like the basic minion enemies, have a lot of AoE. The game even has a jump button now, which is, I love that the old games don't have a jump button because it separates itself from other hack and slash games like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta. You're just on the ground. You're just a regular human. You have no superpowers besides turning into a tiger if you do some kind of coked up super move. But you essentially were like a basic human who won a lightsaber on the internet through eBay or something like that. I forgot how. But this one, now you have a power glove that you can put chips in that gives you different superpowers. Now you have to manage that through micromanaging. You have wrestling moves that before, your wrestling moves would come out like when you like attack a certain enemy a certain way, and it would just like automatically do a wrestling move or whatever.
I like the jumping one, by the way. I cannot knock that one. It's just a drop kick.
Oh yeah. That move is
this all drop kick.
That's actually a glove move, but I don't know, man. The second boss. Once I got to the second boss, I just was thinking, all right, they complicated this too much, because I died so many times within seconds, like seconds of entering the boss arena, I was dead, and I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, why just so complicated? Now, even the road to fighting the boss is way different, because before, you enter like almost like a linear stage where you fight like mobs, you fight like hordes of minions. After you kill all these guys and you progress a little bit, here's the boss at the end of the road. In this one, you're driving around the city, and the minions are kind of segmented. Like, drive here, fight 20 minions. Drive here, fight another 20 minions. Drive here, fight 20 minions. Now drive here, and here's the boss fight. And it's like, I don't like that. Like I felt like why do we have to kind of like take breaks in between the combat like this so often? And I guess maybe they thought of. I think they were influenced by Legend of Zelda: The Shrines. Like Breath of the Wild has shrines instead of one large dungeon. Here's 20 different shrines on the road to a big dungeon, and I think maybe they got that concept from there. But I don't think it works because driving around the town is not fun. Like the frame rate goes to absolute crap when you're driving around the cities or whatever, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I haven't had that issue that much.
Frame rate drop?
But I haven't had that issue that much.
You drove around the city and you didn't have no frame rate drops?
Not that much. I think the part that it gets a little fuzzy is when you start doing it in portable. Oh no, that's a different story.
I haven't even played portable, but I'm playing docked entirely. I don't really play portable too often, but no, driving around the city for me has been like 15 frames per second the entirety of the way through. Also, in the town before, you used to be able to pull up to the t-shirt shop and buy a couple t-shirts with your money. You used to be able to go to the gym, work out, get stronger. You used to be able to go to the jobs place and get jobs. Now everything is just scattered. Nothing is in one place now. Now everything is scattered. You want a t-shirt? Find an NPC somewhere on the map that has a t-shirt for you only if you met certain conditions. I'll give you a t-shirt if you got an A rank in whatever stage. And I'm like, I used to like the normalcy of the old games. Now, I'm not saying I don't like the new game, but I don't get. I'm confused by it. I don't understand some of the decisions yet. Now, also the where was I going next with that? The aesthetics are still perfect. The references, the memes, Sin's completely right. This game is a meme game the whole way through. It's coked up. The minute you turn on the game, you're like, what the jazz am I even playing? Like, it's insane.
Wait, I got you, Marv, while you're talking. Go ahead.
But, yeah, completely. But there's also, I have an issue with, like, the enemies, because now, Travis Touchdown always fought like humans in the old games. Now we have aliens in this game, and the thing with these aliens is that they're not relatable. Like the bosses in the old games were like the bread and butter of any video game boss. They were like the best. They gave you some long speech about their philosophy, about why they fight, what are they fighting for. Shout out to Zero meme in the Bravery Arcade. All this stuff, right? So, but when you fight an alien, it's just, you don't connect with it as much. It's kind of like, here's this weird thing with 3 arms that kind of like looks like something ridiculous, like from like a Power Rangers TV show, and it's like, I'm not feeling the look of these bosses.
I don't feel the same way. I think I entered the game with a different approach this time, more because I was already coming into this thinking this is gonna be the last hurrah. And not only that, but years have passed by since the last No More Heroes. So a lot has changed, and not only us, but the community in general. And so leniency for the modern gamers, it's not acceptable anymore. It's too easy for them. For us, we like it because that's how we were raised into gaming, but it's not the norm. And that's something that I'm not okay with, by the way. I'm not condoning it. I do like more leniency rather than complicated approaches to certain things that should just be simple to get to begin with, because they're grinds instead of something meaningful to the game. Even if it's just cosmetics, even if it's just a little bit of point grinding, just let me know where I can get it and let me get there quick, because I don't have that much time as I'm older. But that being said, I get it. The younger generation don't approach this with that kind of brain. That being said,
but here's the thing, Finn. The game is still linear. You have to do things in an order. The only thing is that now it's segmented. Like before, you enter a mission and you're fighting mobs all the way on the road to the boss fight in one place. So
I get that.
You fight 20 people, move forward, fight another 20 people, move forward. 20 people, move forward. Here's the boss fight, right? In this one, it's fight 20 people, go back to the world map, get back on the motorcycle, drive up to the next 20 mob people, whatever shit, fight 20 people, repeat, recycle, do it until you have enough money to fight the boss. You got enough money to fight the boss? Go fight the boss. All right, here, boom, here's the boss. It's the same gameplay loop, but it's segmented. They took a pizza. Look, this is what they did. This is exactly what they did. A pizza pie with 8 slices. Instead of putting it all in the same box, they took slice by slice by slice, and they put it into 8 different boxes. So instead of going into the box and pulling out a slice and eating it and eating the next slice, they said, no, open this box, eat this slice, go to the next box, eat this slice, walk to the next box, eat this. And it's like, yo, I get it. Breath of the Wild was fun. It was cool. Shrines everywhere.
Yeah, but that's different. I do understand that approach. In Breath of the Wild, shrines had an appeal to them because they had a uniqueness. In this case, what they did in between this, the let's call them the slices because that's a good analogy. They just in between the space of the slices that were pulled apart by humans, that you threw the pepperoni in there, and it's very light pepperoni. It's just side quests and some joy that you get from understanding that you're in this game. I do get that. That's one thing that I'm confused about. I don't know what they were going for.
This is still my game of the year. I still love this game.
Yes.
Because style-wise, this game, no, Suda 51 is unrivaled. Suda 51 is a person, by the way. He's not.
I also say, by the way, the bosses, you just wait until later.
I guess, but I got to that second boss. Nothing of interesting design-wise on him. Nothing very thing about his philosophy for fighting stood out to me. Like he just was another boss. But yo, I had to abuse the recovery system. You know, when you die, they give you this spinneret that gives you a power up for the next time you fight. So I abused it. Like, I abused it a lot. That's how I was able to beat him. But the AoE attacks, I don't get it. I don't get what was the purpose of that. I would understand that if you're fighting a boss and then there's like minions alongside him fighting you, but No More Heroes has never been something about the environment. It's never been really about the arena itself that you're fighting in. It's been more about hand-to-hand, close-up, and ridiculous close-up combat. That's why I'm like, I think
they were trying to upscaling.
I know exactly.
It didn't translate well.
They wanted to make the game more complex. The games were simple hack and slash games before. They were very, very simple. So they're thinking, yeah, we gotta make this more complex. We gotta make this for the modern audience and make it more depth. There's not just go kill this guy. It's here's the skill tree, here's the power ups, the buffs, the perks, whatever you want to call them. Do all this stuff. Here's the food. The food system, I still don't understand it. I don't understand how you recover. It says hold the D-pad button and you will recover food. I'm pressing the D-pad. I didn't recover nothing. I see the hand come on the bottom of the screen. Nothing comes out. And I'm like, yo, I'm not up for this. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I don't like this. I don't
like it either. I feel anything that feels like grinding, not just for the sake of grinding.
It's not grinding though. You just have to buy a bunch of food and then you can recover health during the fight, which the old games didn't let you do. You couldn't store food before. You couldn't store recovery items. You would pick it up, you eat it as soon as you pick it up. Now you buy it, you keep it in your pouch, you eat it when you're about to die. But I don't know. I feel like it's more micromanaging. There's a lot of micromanaging.
Yeah, okay, that's the right word. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I don't want to do this. I just want to go kill stuff. Like I like the old. The combat also. I feel like the jumping's unnecessary. I feel like making it so that your character has to jump around the stage. It feels very unnecessary. I'm not really I don't see the purpose of it yet. Because now I have an extra button on my controller that I'm never gonna press. Because there's very few reasons to jump in that game. For as much craziness and coked upness that is in No More Heroes, there's never been a reason to hit a jump button at all. You are very human in No More Heroes. You are a otaku nerd. You are not Superman. You bought a lightsaber on the internet.
The AoE definitely bothered me at first because I had to learn where not to stand, and that I was at first like put off by really badly. And then the jumping was fine because I've been used to it for so long in so many different games, but I shouldn't, like, I agree with you. I shouldn't have to adapt it in this one because, duh.
That's what made it different. That's what made the game different. Not having to jump around. How often do you jump every day in your life? You know
oh, no. That wouldn't be a question that's good for me. I do very often.
You probably do. I haven't jumped since 6th grade or whatever, but yo, I don't really care for it. I don't really care for it. I like the Now, if you play No More Heroes 2, the combat is weighty, it's flashy, it's like you feel the impact of every hit in No More Heroes 2. There's like a little microsecond pause every time you land an attack. And
before you let this go, because I'm gonna forget, I guess you can say Marv is a very grounded person. All right, continue.
Very grounded. But yeah, I like the combat from No More Heroes 2 way better than this one. This one is better than part 1 though. Part 1's combat was very stiff. Part 2, you feel like you're playing with a butter knife. Like, oh my god, this is so smooth and clean the way the combat is. The story in part 2 is horrible. Part 2 is definitely a horrible story or sequel in terms of story. But the combat is amazing. This one, it's a little closer to part 1, but it's more fluid, and you have a lot more options in combat. But I don't know if all these options were necessary. I don't even know.
I think what carries it over for me is that they packed in so much style that it pushes away what I think of those negatives.
Everything I'm saying gets nerfed by the style. Remember, this is still my game of the year. But everything I'm saying is nerfed completely by the style of this game. When you fight a boss and you beat him, and then you see a little cutscene with him at a podcast, and he's talking to his partner about like the Kamen Rider series, or it's the Ultraman series. No, I think it's Kamen Rider. He's talking about the creator of Kamen Rider with his buddy on a podcast on an old school TV, and it's like, yo, this game drips. It drips in style. Like, you can feel the drippiness when you're holding the controller in this game. You feel the drippiness.
Travis is just a dude who bought a lightsaber on eBay and decided to kill people with it. The storyline of 2 is based on a side quest from the first one.
Mm-hmm. It is. He's completely right. But, oh my God, this No More Heroes 3 has every game beat in terms of style and in terms of references and everything, man. Even they mentioned the MCU. They mentioned all this stuff. Kamen Rider's creator, everything. I love it. I will play this game to death just because of how stylish it is.
You know what it reminds me of? That they haven't replicated this in movie in a little bit. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World is like No More Heroes, the movie, honestly, if you think about it. But really, style wise, this game is unrivaled. I will only say
I thought Bayonetta was exaggerated, and then you go into No More Heroes, and you're just like,
Bayonetta's baby food compared to No More Heroes. I would say the only thing closest to it is kind of like Guilty Gear with its references to rock and roll. But if you don't know rock and roll and if you don't know metal, then you don't really get the references. Guilty Gear is dripping with rock and roll references everywhere. But if you're not a rock and roll head, you're not going to get it. No More Heroes is not just about like rock. It's not just about punk rock, because there's a lot of punk rock references in there. It's not just about anime. It's not just about being an otaku. It's about everything. Now, the what you said earlier about the fact that the translation is so well from Japanese to English, the reason it's like that is because Suda51, this guy's a fucking genius. He's a genius. He didn't make an otaku from the perspective of a Japanese person. He didn't say, let's make a Japanese otaku. He made an otaku from behind the lenses of an American. So this is how he perceives American otakuism, American weebs. This is his perception of an American weeb. Someone who thinks they're cool because they have a Naruto headband and they have the freaking what is it called? A My Hero Academia poster on their room. Like, this is his perception of an American who thinks everything Japanese is the coolest thing ever, but is actually so uncool and totally socially awkward, but thinks they're cool, thinks they're not awkward. He's a genius. He made a weirdo the main character of his game. That's just it's
and it just
unrivaled.
sells it.
It sells it completely because Travis thinks he's the coolest freaking thing ever, but he is like the most annoying, weirdest. Oh, you don't have issue 1. You don't have this. You don't have the holographic Charizard. You got the regular Charizard. That's Travis' touchdown, bro. Like, he nailed that. He nailed it.
Yeah, War Major said, man, he peeking into Rio's room decoration. That is so true. Yeah. Rio has an otaku room.
Yeah. He made Rio into a video game character. Like, I'm telling you. Like, Rio needs to play No More Heroes. He would love it. But either way, I still have some qualms about the gameplay. That's just my thing. I don't know, man. I hope that it gets better as I get more comfortable with the gameplay loop and the controls. But as of right now, it's very frustrating. Very, very. I was gonna slam my controller fighting that second boss. They had like an electric fence. There was an electric fence, so you can't run too far away from the boss. But then the boss had all these AoE moves and magnetism that draws you closer to him. It was like, bro, I don't know, man. But I hope it gets better. I hope that I can fucking get comfortable with the controls.
I think what happens with me is that I jumped head first into a JRPG, which is Xenoblade, and I didn't know jack squat about MMOs or RPGs or JRPGs, and I got overloaded in the first game with so much sensory deprivation, so much information in the first whatever minutes, and so much exposition that I played the game through the lens of a newcomer. And I feel like this is a different perspective because it's No More Heroes, but they just put more stuff in there. And not only that, but they stuffed it in the beginning so much that after a certain point, I got used to it. But the first 2, I would say 2 4s, maybe 6, 2 4 6 hours, you're just like, how do I do that again? Wait, hold on. But why? Confusion. So that I feel like that was too much. Like, that's all the exposition they give you every time it's a new power. It's just like, all right, whatever, what? And then this is what you can do. And it's like, dude, why? Like, when they give you the ability to ride around, you're just like, so what? And then you just jump right away into a side quest, or you can do different things, and it's just like, all right, dude. Like, it's a lot of overload.
It is a lot of it's an overload. It is a lot in there, and I get it. They wanted to make the game modern and have it be complex and get replay value. The old No More Hero games don't have replay value. You cut shit up.
Okay.
You fight a boss. You move on. This one, you got so many different micromanaging in it that maybe you want to play the game again with a different chipset. Maybe you want to play it again and use different attacks on different bosses or whatever. But I don't know, man. I liked it more when it was simple. I am a very simple gamer. No More Heroes 1 and 2 could be a PS1 game with how simple it is. Even for the era it came out on the Wii, No More Heroes was almost like a PS1 game in terms of controls and combat. Before, if you wanted to do a dodge, you just moved the analog stick to the left or to the right while targeting an enemy. In this one, if you want to do a dodge, you target the enemy, you hold the analog stick left or right, but you also got to press the dodge button, the roll button, and you don't just move 360 degrees around an enemy. Now you move like in every direction. Like it's I don't know. I get it. You can't make a simple game nowadays. You gotta have more meat to it. You gotta give it more complexity. But some of
I mean, I'm a simple man. If I see booty, I click like.
facts. Yo, some of the beauty of No More Heroes 1 and 2 was how baby food the controls were and how you didn't have to think much when playing it. You just were there feeling like a god when you're cutting somebody in half. He's not.
I think what you liked was the simplicity of the gameplay, but the complexity of the style.
Yes. Yo, you know me like a book. Yes. You're right. You're 100% right about that.
So you might be confused because you love the franchise, but they introduced something that you're not used to. And I would say you're probably not gonna like it to the end. Because unlike me, you don't have that much experience with it and you don't like it. And I don't like it, but I can tolerate it. Because
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say not doing the experience. I played the old games front, back, cover to cover. I probably play too much of the old games now that makes me not like the new game as much. I probably have too much bias with the old games. But
don't forget that 2 story was just anyways.
2 story was horrible, but the gameplay, oh my god. When you get the dual beam katanas, I think it's called Cherry Rose or something like that, and you're just spamming the A button and you're looking like a god on this. You're pressing one button, but you look like Jesus on the screen. Like, oh my god.
I feel like that still carried over in this game with style. It's just the gameplay, they just made it a little too complex. Even me, like, again, I feel like if you don't, and this is my JRPG, like, little bit of experience that I have coming to the side, I feel like if you don't do something now, you miss out on something else. And I hate that feeling. I hate that. I don't know what I should focus on because it's all compartmentalized, thrown around. And it's like, can I just go to a specific location for something, please? That would be so much simpler.
The also the cool thing about part 1, not part 2, but part 1, is that every time you're in a boss, not really in a boss, you're in a dungeon, kind of, like, let's say, because you're on a road to the boss. So there's mob here, mob there. Walk around this dungeon until you get to the boss. In part 1, every road to the boss kind of had its own unique thing. Like one of them, you're fighting on a bus. The camera angle is outside the bus. You're seeing your character through a window, and you can only fight from seeing him from outside of the area you're actually in. Another road to the boss had kind of like you had to play baseball because you're fighting all these baseball players, and you had to swing the sword when the ball was right in front of you, and you see how many enemies you hit. Like, there were so many little different mini games between boss fights that it kind of, like, every stage was very unique. With part 2, they got rid of that. Now it's just cut everybody up, get to the boss. This one, it's kind of like the same thing. Just cut everybody up, get to the boss. But here's a little bit of enemies. Here's a little bit of enemies there, a little bit of enemies there, a little bit of enemies there, and get to the boss. And it's...
As it goes, it gets better for me. I think, like, what they went for was progression with the bosses. And that's where they simplified it. It's like, they were like, oh, you'll get the premise of the bosses once there's... I'm dropping a blank with the main boss. Holy crap. Whoa.
Fu. His name is Fu.
Yeah.
Fu.
Yeah. He comes back, brings his freaking little friends, whatever. And they simplified the approach, but the style is there. It's just like, okay, dude, you should have brought some more lore for them. But it slightly gets better as it goes. I don't know if, like, at the end we'll get some exposition that will be like, oh, wow.
I know we will. I'm 100% sure we will.
I hope so. I don't want a repetition, but the point is, for every negative, there's always a positive. When you feel a game as thorough as I feel No More Heroes. The negatives just don't outweigh the positives. But I will say that as you get older, inevitably you just become wiser. And when we were younger, we would play something and just be enamored with it, and it would have a whole lot of flaws. So, it's kind of like ignorance is bliss. So you kind of have to shut down the adult part of your brain at times. But sometimes it just rears its ugly head, and your experience cannot help but show your nostalgia or your bias.
Facts.
Sorry, but that's what they should have kept.
Facts. Yo, and one thing he's really smart with in this game is you know who the final boss is in the beginning of the game. They're building up his strength and his lore as you play the game. Where like in the old games,
that was crazy.
In the old games, you didn't know who the final boss was, so you have no connection to him when you get there. So with this one, yo, Fu freaking ripped Shinobu's arms off, and you're like, oh my god, that's like the most fan favorite character in this game, and it's like, oh, I gotta get revenge. I'm going back out there. I'm kicking this guy's ass.
He did so many things that you're just like, how is Travis gonna? But then you step back and you go, it's No More Heroes. Like,
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
I'm gonna kill him no matter what. But I do like that they're building up the boss. Before, there's no build up. You get there, you meet him, you kill him. Now it's like, all right, start the game. Whoa, here's the boss. Oh my god, he just kicked everybody's ass. And now you got to fight his homies before you get to him. And you're like, all right, I'm rushing through these guys because I want to get my revenge.
And they're not easy.
And they're not easy. It's like, whoa. Now you have a deeper connection to the final boss, and it's good. It's good. I can't wait to kick his ass.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to kick his ass. And I love that he has lore. And when you start the game, you see the cutscene of Fu with the human. It's like an E.T. reference. And instead of E.T. being, I want to go home, E.T. go home. Now it's like, yo, what's up? Yo, I'm taking over Earth. Oh, superheroes are popular in America? I'm going to be a superhero. I'm going to kick everyone, and everybody's going to worship me. I'm taking over this whole country. It could have been an Iron Giant reference too, Taco. You're right.
Is that a reference to Immortals?
Either way, they're doing good with the final boss. They're doing good. That they're killing. Like I said, the story and the style, he's nailing it. He's it's like a freaking chicken parmesan ziti pasta, bro. He's killing it. But the gameplay is kind of like eating seafood. You know, seafood you gotta work to eat. Like, you know, like the crab legs.
You ever seen people trying to eat crabs and put the baby?
Yeah, eating crab legs is the worst. It's so much work, but it tastes good. So this game is crab legs. We nailed it. We got the analogy already. So much food analogies in this game. Crab legs take so long to eat, bro. Like, and they're so difficult. But now we know why, because it's No More Heroes 3.
What War Major says, this isn't for the next topic, but I'll mention it. When you talk about Activision, you can talk about how game designers who are just starting out are making it stupidly tough to get a job in the industry, example being himself. Wow. Whoa.
Well,
all right.
I think we're there already, right? Let's go.
Yeah, let's hop over to the next one. So, guys, we've covered this extensively on the podcast. If you have any more suggestions, let us know in the comment section down below. Oh, wow, I have forgotten to say it today, but make sure you leave a like. Make sure you leave a subscribe, and most importantly, leave a review on Apple and like us on Spotify, please.
Yeah,
or I will kick you with my legs. All right.
Yeah.
So,
what up, Jeff? Taco said we should work for Doug.
Doug?
Because of all the food references. I don't know what Doug is, but it must be a food channel on YouTube or something.
Oh, hold on. It's not right to the Activision, but I will mention this real quickly. So we had a article from Game Developer talking about how Apple, the App Store is going to let the store devs email customers about alternative payment options. What this essentially is an answer to what happened with Fortnite and other Epic Game Store, and just in general how much they charge for you to even get your games to plastered onto their phones. I'm not going to talk about this much until I see more solutions and more references, more sources. But I will mention that this does not at all reflect on what they have done in the past and what they still continue to put into practice. But I will say that this is something to keep an eye on and follow it through, and that's why I'll just cut it off for now. Do you know anything about the story, Marv?
Well, I know that that Epic Games wants to put the Epic Games Store on phones, but Apple and Google only want to sell games from their Play Store or whatever. So it seems like this is a win for Epic, but I'm also scared of what Epic is going to become, because Epic is like, if you guys don't know, Epic is kind of like on world domination mode right now. On PC, they want you to buy games from the Epic Games Store instead of Steam, which makes me scared as all hell, because I have such a great Steam collection that I don't want to have to adopt a new system. Like, that's kind of scary to me. Buying the games again, or just the games not being launched the same way, even just launching it the same way is a scary proposition for me. But on phone, this is also a win for everyone, though. Even though this is a kind of scary thing for Epic, because it kind of sucks if I was a game developer and I wanted to put a game in the Epic Games Store. They take such a big chunk of the profits that it's like, oh my God, why am I even putting my game on Apple Play Store and Google Play Store?
Yeah, they talk about just to just make a vague reference. You have to make above a certain percentage of earnings to even make a profit back because of how much you get charged.
I hope you're right, Taco. Taco says that this Steam's a giant with a whole lot of features Epic doesn't have. They can't kill it off. I hope you're right, but I see a looming, like, a beast or like a sleeping giant inside of Epic, like that they're getting ready for, because, mind you, a lot of games, including No More Heroes 3, are built on the Unreal Engine, which is owned by Epic. A lot of TV shows that we watch, which you don't even realize, the CGI in those TV shows and movies that we watch, a lot of that is used with the Unreal Engine, which Epic gives that out for free. Just digest that information. Like, before, if you want to make a video game, you have to buy some kind of kit or some kind of tool set, some kind of engine that costs tons of money that you have to learn how to use.
That's right.
Epic. Let me just say this finally. Epic is giving away their engine, the thing they use to make video games with 1 million assets already built into it. They give that to you for free. Right now, if Sinfanta wanted to make a video game and he had to find some kind of engine to use to build it, he could just download Unreal Engine, and it's free. Now, how does that relate? Like, how does it relate between them selling games and them making the tools to build the game? I'm fearful that the tool to build the game is going to soon only become available if you put your game on the Epic Games Store. Digest that even deeper. What happens if that becomes a reality? You know how many games are built on the Unreal Engine? Kingdom Hearts 3 was built on the Unreal Engine. No More Heroes 3 was built on the Unreal Engine. The majority of games you've probably played within the last 10 years have been built on the Unreal Engine. If Steam becomes hey, here's how you make the game, here's how you sell the game, I feel like they have too much power at that point.
War Major said, I still use Unity. I can't get around Unreal's visual scripting. No plug and play for me. Also for Apple, how in the latest updates they are now looking to people's pictures for inappropriate pictures, quote unquote, cutting into our privacy, and yet when the government asked them for access to terrorist phone, they wouldn't allow it due to issues against their privacy.
No, Apple is a demon, just like Epic. They're both demons. They're both devils in their own way. Google as well. Google's also a devil in disguise. All three of them are nightmares, but if Epic wins, they have a little more pull. Just the fact that they are giving you the tools to make your game and make your movie and make your TV show. I don't know. It's a scary proposition, but this is still a win for everyone if you can sell your own game on a phone, on a mobile phone, without having to go through Apple. Because like I said, they take such a big percentage of your profits when you sell your game on their platform. And you have to sell a certain amount just to even see profit. If you only sell 10 copies, you don't see profit. They take all of it until you break, what is it? What do you know the exact number?
No, I saw it vaguely. I think it was something close to 1 million.
You have this. I'm not even going to repeat that because I'm disgusted by that thought. It can't be 1 million, but it's probably in the hundreds of thousands.
Hold on.
It's probably in the 100,000 before you can see profit on your own work on a cell phone. This is a double-edged sword. It's definitely a double-edged sword completely, but it's a win for indie developers or mobile phone developers. But it's also a scary proposition if Epic has this much power in their hands. Because the day they say, hey, you can only sell Epic Unreal Engine games on the Epic Store. Whew.
Oh, I'm sorry. I read that incorrectly. Eligible developers must have earned 1 million or less through you. Oh, wait. So there's limits to what this is. That like you have to make less than a certain percentage to be available for this. Okay.
Oh well, I don't know.
Okay. At the end of the day, I'll look up the numbers and I'll post them somewhere. But yeah, it's still pretty high. Just don't remember the exact numbers, but it was pretty high.
Either way, yeah, this is a win for mobile phone developers that want to make more money off their games, but it's also a scary proposition for what Epic has planned in the future.
Yeah,
that's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna hop right into the main topic that we had. So we're gonna start off with this is so complex and so condensed that I'm just gonna pace through it. Bear with me, guys. So we have California has expanded its anti-discrimination lawsuit against Activision Blizzard, adding temporary workers to the female full-time employees of whom it is suing on behalf. The state's Department of Fair Employment and Housing also alleges the game maker has interfered with its investigation. Why it matters? While Activision Blizzard has attempted to show over the past month that it is addressing issues raised in the suit, the DFEH is turning up the heat. Between the lines, the amended complaint was filed Monday and redefines the group it says was wronged by the gaming giant. A copy reviewed by Axios specifically mentions that California protections against anti-harassment, equal pay, and other equal employment opportunity protections exist for employees and contingent or temporary workers. So not only just workers. So you know that's what they're trying to shield themselves with. I'm gonna cut this off. It's a lot of information here. I'll link this below as well. But then we also have to jump over to some of the situations that's happening after the fact, where Activision Blizzard actually responded to some of the claims that are coming out recently as to them getting in between the investigation, and their response was, quote, "Through our engagement with the DFEH, we have complied with every proper request in support of its review, even as we had been implementing reforms to ensure our workplaces are welcoming and safe for every employer." Bull. Those changes continue today and include several high-level personnel changes. Bull. Revamped hiring and recruiting practices requiring diverse interview panels. Nonsense. With regards to claims that we have destroyed information by shredding documents, those claims are not true. We took appropriate steps to preserve information relevant to DFEH investigation. And we can deconfirm that because I was linked this by Ali from a former employee as well, that we have somebody from Blizzard that used to work for Blizzard addressing that issue, and they post on Twitter as well, and I quote, "HR destroyed the documents related to the lawsuit, which means the fine for doing so was less than the penalty for what it was. Shame on HR, time to unionize," and just goes into depth. Everybody's trying to discuss, asking position and whatnot, and, basically her giving confirmation. So basically, they just got in the way of the procedures as long as they can so they can re-infrastructure before anybody can get in there and do a full and thorough investigation, just damage control. And those of us that are longtime fans of Blizzard, we're trying to figure out what's the truth from the kernel? How do we separate ourselves from the developers and be our own gaming community without getting chastised? And I've seen this happen to a lot of Blizzard players that play World of Warcraft, Overwatch, insert Blizzard game here, and we get chastised for being a lover of the game, not the developer, and being in between the times that it is. We're very conflicted. Those of us that play these games just don't know what to do.
Yo, Sin, I gotta piss like a racehorse. Hold it
Go.
down while I come back.
I got you. It's not like I'm stopping. And so, those of us that are conflicted don't know where to stand on this. Wait, hold on. Let me see this. They were getting an obscene amount of backlash. They even tried that. Well, they did. Oh, you talking about? Yeah. Oh, okay. I used to refer to it. Remember when Blizzard was cool? I remember Fuel's Batman. Oh no. But yeah. So geez, that kind of hit me in the feels now. I remember when Blizzard was something to look up to, and you would literally see them put. Oh my God, StarCraft. Oh, the animation. Okay, no, we're not doing this. Then we had the atrocity that was World of Warcraft Reforged, and you just knew something had to be happening behind the scenes. My dad's a huge Blizzard fanboy still. That's how we feel conflicted. We want to play the community. We still want to play the games, but how can you play a game when you actively have to pay monies to support said company? It would be different if you could play, if you were paying the console maker, like if it was on a console, but you're paying directly to the developer. You're paying directly to get on their game and service the servers, supposedly, but we all know usually, especially when it comes to World of Warcraft, it's usually going towards the next DLC and making everything else irrelevant, which is the trend with them, and that's why Final Fantasy XIV became the new cover for World of Warcraft, and a lot of World of Warcraft players left to Final Fantasy XIV. Anyway, so. Ali says Warcraft 3 reforged, but somehow deforged. How can you? This is the thing that let us know from the jump that there might be some truth to all of this. This was before the whole thing started happening. How can you release a game, Warcraft 3 reforged, and it be worse than the original game that came out ages ago, and you make it worse? That's never happened in the history of anything, except for gaming, apparently.
Well,
so
Crystal Chronicles from Final Fantasy.
Look here, right? That's not true. That's not a scale to scale. But okay, so to be fair, he's mostly unaware of Blizzard's more shady part. Okay, so you're okay. So those of us that are longtime fans and are adult enough to know the differences, we're conflicted because most games for Blizzard have payments directly to the company, and usually it's for skins and whatnot, but then there's World of Warcraft and there's other games that you kind of have to pay to play, and I don't know how, any other way to put it, and yeah, you don't know where to stand. And that's especially if you're a World of Warcraft player. Mark, what do you think about all this?
I don't know all the intricate details of this story, to be honest with you.
Do you want me to break it down simple?
Yeah, put it in a sentence for me.
Okay, so people were harassed within the company due to frat boy mentality, and the game suffered greatly. Okay. Women were harassed, men were harassed.
Okay. I'm going to say, and I think I said this a couple episodes ago too, is that this is not a issue exclusive to Activision Blizzard. This is probably an issue in the majority of video game companies, the majority of cell phone companies, the majority of retail companies. This is a human issue that we are just now kind of trying to resolve. It's a revolution among human beings, honestly, because people were harassed at work. Female workers were harassed, and people that were gay or lesbian were bullied at their jobs, and that just was the culture, up until recently, where these people started to gather in social media and kind of build a unity and a strength to come out about things that they couldn't come out about before. Within Activision Blizzard itself, that company itself, I've never cared for it. I don't play Call of Duty. I don't play World of Warcraft. I don't play Overwatch. I don't play freaking Diablo. I play Tony Hawk. That's an Activision Blizzard game, but I mean, I don't know, man. It's kind of like they were shredding documents. They're a shady company. They're a company.
They even hired the same law firm that did the same thing for another company, which was block access
they don't want to be put out of business. This could put them out of business, honestly. And
Yes.
they're $1 billion company. Like just Warcraft alone, Warcraft and Call of Duty, two huge monumental franchises, make them $1 billion every year. So it's like, yeah, they're in what's the term? Damage control. They're in damage control right now.
Yeah.
And shredding the documents is probably one of the reasons they probably will be able to stay alive. So this is a survival tactic for them. But even if they are doing that, even if they are shredding and destroying things that they did wrong in the past, I would hope, I have no evidence of this, but I would hope that would lead to still a better environment in the future, because they're like, we're not doing that again. Hell no.
Yeah.
You ain't touching Peggy's butt, even though she's like in the mailroom and she's not really that important. She's like, all she does is deliver mail to people. She's not that important. But hey, don't freaking chastise her and ask her about her cup size or whatever. You know what I mean?
It wasn't only girls too. Like, this is something that I don't like, that people with political leniency are just trying to pitch. It was guys too. You think every guy is gonna be on board with, oh, let's just do this? And no, some of us do. I know it's hard to believe for some of you, but some of us do have, cognitive abilities to go, hey, that's not part of who I am as a human being. I don't want to do that. But I hope that they get a shakeup from this. And I hope this is just the start. As I said with once Blizzard was brought by Activision, all went downhill from there, said Dragovian Lancer.
Activision was crappy even before Blizzard came along.
Yeah, but I would say the one moment, which I don't know if you're aware of, there was a moment where they made Diablo Immortals for the phone. You remember this moment? Where they made a conference and they said something really cringe?
Yeah, I remember it was backlash for it. Like, hey, where's Diablo 3 or whatever?
They were like, they essentially made Diablos for the phone when nobody was asking about it. The core fan base is PC gamers. And in an event that's meant for the company, you would think everybody that's a fan is there, which we are. We're fans. We are fans. We are there. You would think they would have read the room better, as though, they're the developer. But no, they read the room incorrectly. And not only that, but you would think you wouldn't be dumb enough to chastise your own fan base on live TV, on live stream, and be like, don't you guys have phones? Doesn't everybody have phones? It's like, no, but our core fan base is on PC. What's happening? Are you assaulting our intelligence? There was literally somebody that stood up and went up to the mic and said, is this an April Fool's joke?
I agree with you that was dumb, but at the same time, this company, like I said, the games they make generate probably $1 billion every year. Even if they insult everybody, they're still gonna make $1 billion. Because let me tell you, son, I got a lot of friends that play Warcraft, and I asked them, like, yo, did you hear about all the controversy and allegations in Blizzard? 100% of them said, I haven't heard anything about any of that.
Ali Pally, which by the way plays a lot of World of Warcraft. What I said, I was reading last week, over half of World of Warcraft players have unsubscribed, which is gonna put a dent in their yearly games for sure. That's one game, but that's definitely a dent.
Hold on. I gotta look that up, Ali. I love Ali. She's awesome, but
it could be true.
I don't think over half people
you know
have
why?
unsubscribed.
You know why? Because Asmongold.
I gotta fact check that one. There's no
Yeah,
way. That's so much profit lost. I kind of find that I kind of find that unbelievable that over half. That's what 60-70% loss in profit. I don't think that's possible. Because the majority of the people that play Warcraft are not looking at video game news websites.
Hold on.
If you could link me that fact, I will agree with you, Ali. But I cannot digest that. That doesn't seem believable to me.
But you know where it began? Well, no, it didn't only begin with this, by the way. So, you know, if the unsubscription percentage shakes you, it's not only that. It's not the harassment. It's not what they heard. But it's also a lot of the people that hold dominion over the fan base, which grew especially on Twitch with people like Asmongold and some YouTubers. That's a lot of power for individuals, and especially with niche communities such as World of Warcraft. So when an individual such as Asmongold goes to Final Fantasy XIV, guess where all of his fans and followers are going to go?
I agree with you there, 100%. I agree with you there.
They absolutely did.
Is that over half of the player base?
You should check how much Asmongold has. It's insane.
I don't think it's over half of the player base, no matter what. I don't.
No,
I don't
it's
know.
not only him though. It's a huge chunk of the huge, popular World of Warcraft players have fallen as time has progressed because things just keep happening where they're like, okay, there's other games that are MMORPGs that do things differently rather than World of Warcraft, where every new iteration of DLC, whatever you did before, is just irrelevant now.
You know, okay, so let me take it back to the food analogy.
Yeah,
a lot of people claimed to stop eating McDonald's after they saw that documentary about how McDonald's makes its food, and they were like, "I'm not eating McDonald's no more. Instead, I'm gonna eat Wendy's. I'm gonna eat Burger King. I'm gonna eat places other than McDonald's." Bro, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, they're all the same shit. They are not doing anything differently than any of these other companies.
41%.
They are all crap. 41% is not more than half. That's less than half.
Yeah, but still,
it's a big chunk. It's not more than half. The issue is, if you're like, well, I'm not playing Warcraft no more, I'm gonna go play Final Fantasy. You think Square Enix is not doing the same jazz that Blizzard is doing?
This brings me back to what I was saying when Smash Bros. Had his situation happen, and everybody was talking about Smash Bros. Being the situation, the community, and I'm just like, no. We need to expand our brains a little, and I'm sorry if this is getting too serious for some of you, but we need to expand our brains a little and realize that this is not a company issue. This is a human generational issue that needs to be addressed.
Exactly. This is not about Blizzard and Activision. This is not about, I don't like what they're doing at Blizzard, I'm going to go play Final Fantasy. You are being extremely, monumentally naive if you think that Square Enix is not doing the same crap that Blizzard Activision is doing. You are being unrealistic on a level that it is on Mount Olympian styled level. Like it doesn't make sense. If you want to say I'm not going to play this game for the sake of humanity, then you might as well never play a video game again, because every video game is made in the disc, the cases, the artwork is printed in a third world country where they have sweatshops. Every sneaker you've ever worn, every t-shirt you've ever worn is built by people who are in sweatshops, dying in a slave-like labor. You are being unrealistic if you believe that these are issues exclusive to Activision Blizzard. Come out of your comfort zone and realize that this is a human issue.
Yes.
This has nothing to do with only exclusive issues to Blizzard Activision. They're the ones that got caught.
I will simplify this for those of you that are having a difficult time digesting this. I once read a quote, which I stick to firmly, which is, give him in power and watch him how he treats his fellow contemporaries. Then you'll realize who they are.
Bingo.
And that's
bingo. Like, yo, this is something that we as human beings, I will blame myself. I will blame Sin. I will blame everybody watching these streams. We all have to do better. All of us. Don't throw a stone at Blizzard Activision for doing what every single one of us have ever done. I have made mistakes. Sin has made mistakes. Square Enix has made mistakes. Activision Blizzard has made mistakes. Like, yo, we got to do better as people, man. Like, this isn't just exclusive to them.
I think the reason this is becoming more rubbed is because it's out in the open. It is one of the first times where it's
trending. It's trending. That's why
it's one of the first times where a company gets put in the forefront. And it's a big company. So I get why the situation. And it's kind of like when you look at Royals, where they do a lot of pamper to keep themselves separate from the commoners, where you just by all or belief or faith, you just look up to them because you think they're different people. But if you strip them naked, they're humans just like you. Well, companies are the same. And you just have to realize what you're feeding into. And so in this case, we do realize what we're feeding into. And what we have to do as individuals is, okay, well, let's not stop there now, but definitely address it how we're doing. Okay, great. Let's address Blizzard. Let's have them change.
Yes.
But
everybody
eventually
change. Everybody.
Yeah.
Yo, Jeb says, I never sexually harass my employees. I'm glad to see it, though. People should be able to get the money and do their job. This isn't like something that you could look at yourself and say, well, I never do it, so this is definitely only this group of people. Yo, the thing is, we buy stuff from people who have done insidious. That's the only word I can describe it as. We buy these headphones I'm wearing, this eye patch, this tank top, the tattoos I have. Who knows what that guy has done in his past, right? As human beings, we need to absolutely police each other somewhat, I guess, in a sense like, yo, don't do that, man. But I don't think this is a story that needs to be like, yo, I'm not going to play freaking Warcraft. I'm going to go play Final Fantasy. Yo, Square Enix is notorious for their crunch. Yo, they are horrible. They're not a better company than Blizzard. Like, this is
I think that's a case of you have to double stand. You have to stand on your beliefs, which is a general, like humans have to do better, so let's address it. And also stand on what you bite, what you eat. So if you're still eating that shit, then don't support it. So you could do both. Just don't support the company if you feel like it bothers you that much. And also don't just stop there. Change the narrative for the world. You can claim that an individual cannot change anything, but 7 billion individuals just made a whole planet polluted in less than 70 years. You think about that. We're this little compared to the planet. And in 70 years, we have destroyed it.
You're right. The fact that all this is coming out is good. The fact that all this is happening is good. That way it doesn't happen again. But let's pray to whatever we believe in. I'm not religious. I believe in whatever the hell. There's something out there. I don't know what it is, but it's doing me a lot of favors. But let's pray that freaking everyone learns from this. Square Enix, Capcom, Sega, Activision, Blizzard, Ubisoft, Boobisoft, Subisoft, Chubisoft, everything learns from this. And like, yo, we all like practice better standards, especially at the workplace. Like, yo, I'm here to make money, bro. Don't touch my butt, bro. Like, come on. I'm here to make money.
Come on. You know Rocky 3 is a good movie. What's happening?
And even if you're not doing it, that bro, like, yo, stop your coworkers from doing it. Like, report them. Like, yo, be like, yo, tell them once, like, yo, don't do that. And if they don't listen, then do something official about it. Like, get them in trouble.
I think
right.
I think the lesser vague situations make it difficult because we've become so sensitive that we don't realize through all this definitions and whatnot, that we're being affected by lesser and lesser situations. We're in a more peaceful time, and I know I'm getting so vague with this, but all human beings harass other human beings. You could just insert situation here. The difference is how much can you tolerate and how much can we change so that everybody can be molded into this. Now, there's so many human beings on this planet. There's only so much room we could do for acceptance. I'm not encouraging it. I'm not discouraged. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it is what it is. So when you have somebody that hasn't been physically touched and they're mentally affected, how do you address that? With concrete evidence. Well, you have to give it time and allow it to show in dimensions. And by default, that means more and more people will be affected. But with time will reveal the truth. And that's what happened with Blizzard. Because now they can't hide it. It's such an expansion that one person wouldn't have made a dent, but look how much individuals rising up together made a dent. So again, the collective matters and the individual matters. Both matter. In conclusion, I'm just trying to teach you something so you don't get pigeonholed into thinking one company is better than the other.
Yeah. Don't stop playing Warcraft and go play Final Fantasy 14 because you feel like Square Enix is a much more safe work environment. I doubt it. I you know what? I'll go out on a limb and say I 100% think that there's very little difference between the two companies. But hey, on a bright side and on a lighter note, Sin's getting a lot of love over here. He's like, Paulie says Sin looking shiny today, and Jeff says Sin's mask is fuego, which I think is Hebrew for immaculate.
Yes, Hebrew.
Yeah. I think fuego is Hebrew.
But in conclusion, guys, let's pick it up on a lighter note. Let's rewind it to what I said in the beginning, guys. Remember, we have a grand reopening for Bravery Studios. Please show some love and support. Marv has been grinding his bones off. And let's show some love to Bravery Arcade.
Sin giving me 4D vibes. Man almost chopped my nose off during that explanation.
I tried to limit that side of me. Sorry, I apologize.
You're sexually harassing him, bro. Yo, Taco says, when your mask is one half of the title, you got to make sure it's immaculate. Yeah. Jeps is very, he's good with the Hebrew. He studied like at least 70 languages because he's from the Bronx. In the Bronx, you got to speak 70 languages because who knows who's out there, right? Who knows? But, yeah, man. In conclusion with the Activision Blizzard thing, we all got to do better, man. We all got to do better. And even in myself, I need to think of things that maybe I do wrong that I do not like. I do not even like realize that I'm doing wrong because I've been raised in an environment where these things were acceptable. So, back in the day, they used to throw the rocks at people when they did wrong, right? And we learned, hey, that's not good. We got to do better. So I believe in humanity as a whole and think that every couple centuries or decades, we evolve to a point where we understand that something is not acceptable anymore, and we try to do better. Should Activision Blizzard be shut down and all their games stop being played? If you're gonna do that, then just don't even wear clothes anymore, or don't even buy products, because everything that we buy for ourselves are kind of like built on the backs of people who probably are in some sort of slave labor type situation. So no, I don't think that. I think we need to hold these companies to a higher standard no matter who they are, and we need to make them better. It's not about, I think, punishment. I think it's more about what is the word? Rehabilitation, or kind of destroying, reforming, destroying and rebuilding, fixing it. Like let's fix Activision Blizzard. Let's fix all that stuff. I don't wear jewelry. I know I don't wear diamonds. I know that where those things come from is because there's some kid in a cave with a pickaxe in Africa, mining away at it, and like freaking Like, you know, he's not in a situation where he's making any profit off of what he's working off of. He's getting fed. He's giving pennies. I don't wear Jordans. Jordans are like in the same situation. There's some Tibetan kid who's like sewing them together for 10 cents on an hour or whatever. So it's not that we need to like completely say, I'm just gonna stop doing this and I'm gonna go over there. We all as human beings need to all hold ourselves to a higher standard and not isolate these actions to certain groups and certain people. We all need to accept responsibility. And I hate that we went into so deep into this, because it's like this is a philosophical like, or even like a human like crisis. But yeah, man, we all gotta find ways to make us all have better living or whatever, man. So
yeah,
what can we do on this podcast that fucking the president can't fix or whatever? But you know,
who knows? Maybe we just taught somebody something. They'll move on in the future.
We're just two nerds with freaking a mask and a patch, and you know, hopefully something comes out of our somewhat deep conversations about these topics. But let the phoenix rise from the ashes, says Takzuki. EV cars / products got people slaving for lithium. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's a lot of bad things in the world, you know. I like Sin Cara's podcast laugh. Sin Cara's podcast laugh was practice. We actually sat in a basement for like 12 hours practicing that, and I was like, Sin, you could laugh better than that. Do it better. And, we went back and forth. I was like, no, dude, you're the laugher. I'm the straight man. You're the funny man. So you have to practice that. And just like Sin's laugh, we all got to do better. We all got to do better. Needs a number one luchador mug in his hand. Yeah, I absolutely agree. So like me with D&D voices, yeah, Takzuki too, man. You got to do better with D&D voices. You got to do better. Jep's got to stop wearing those Tims in the summer. I know New Yorkers like wearing Tims in the summer, but you guys got to do better, bro. You guys got to do better. You guys got to do better, bro.
Yo, summer Tims.
Yeah, people in the Bronx are wild, bro. The Bronx got to do better in general, but they're lit, though. They're lit. I love the Bronx. That chopped cheese when I went to Jeff's spot. Yo, Jeff's, when are we going to kick it again, bro? That chopped cheese. I haven't had a chopped cheese since I hung out with Jeff's, like, 3 years ago? Bravery Studios needs HR. Yeah.
Ali Pally says, Tims? You don't know what Tims are? Tims are big boots that are meant for wintertime or for work time if you have like the iron sole in it. But people tend to, in the Bronx, in certain areas.
Not people, freaking people from the Bronx.
Purple. Tend to wear it at all times. Bravery Studio needs an HR department. I am the HR department. Get in touch.
Actually, not people from the Bronx. People from the boroughs. I don't care if you're from Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx, Harlem. Yeah, why are you wearing Tims in the summer, bro? With shorts.
With
shorts.
With little socks.
With little socks.
You know the rubber area of the boot just rubbing against the.
Word. What are you doing? Come on. What's the matter with you?
Oh, man. But that is the end of the podcast, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around.
Yeah, we lit.
Oh, guys. Yo, thank you so much for sticking around. We will see you on the next one. I am your boy, Sinfanta. You can find me on twitch.tv/Sinfanta and all other social media accordingly. And
I am Gnarly Mob, the boss wolf. You can find me at Bravery Arcade. Twitch.tv/Bravery Arcade.
And as always, mission complete.
Complete. Stop wearing Tims.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0!
We await your return, brave hearts.